first area that I want to cover is high-level goals. I think all of you would have heard before the term high-level goals, but the probability that a business will not be successful is considerably higher for organizations that do not set goals. So I'll repeat that again. The probability that a business will not be successful is considerably higher for organizations that do not set goals. Goals are the starting point in the communication and the commitment process. And these goals, they set guidelines for the company's strategy and the financial investment that you would have made into your business. So a couple tips in regards to goals. You set goals and a vision for the business, and those two things must line up. The vision that you have for the business must be supported by your goals and ultimately by your objectives as well. If those two areas don't line up, then it's not going to work. First, if you have a vision that is not in sync with your goals, you're never going to get to the place where you can say that you achieve your vision. Number two, goals must be practical. So you have to make sure that your goals are practical and what we call, and your objectives have to be SMART. Your business needs to consider how you stand out from the crowd. What is the key reason why a customer would buy from you as opposed to buy from one of your competitors? Now, I want to take a step back to something I said just a couple seconds ago. Goals must be practical. And if it's one thing that I find with a lot of business that I deal with in my day-to-day business, day-to-day profession, is that sometimes we set goals that are really not achievable. They look good, they sound great, but really and truly, are these really achievable? One of the things that we have been practicing with our clients as well as internally with Abacus is setting realistic goals. And this can be as simple as setting deadlines that are realistic. You have a whole set of tasks to achieve, and you might want to say, okay, I'm going to achieve all of these tasks by January 31st. But really and truly, when you look at it and you look at the amount of stuff that you're doing on a day-to-day basis, is it practical? You have to ask yourself the question, is it practical? And a lot of times the answer is no. So that actually gives you the opportunity now to go and revisit that goal, or that whether it be a goal or deadline, to make it practical. You have 6 tasks to achieve. Let's spread them out in terms of priorities. And we set deadlines, or we set goals in terms of achieving those tasks that are realistic. You're going to achieve 2 in January, another 2 in February, and another 2 in March. So that is more practical than setting a goal of completing all these tasks by the end of January. So I want to ask you today, do you have your high-level business goals documented? Is it defined where the business is now and where you want to be in the next 3 years? Now, these are definitely things that you need to consider. At the end of the day, I always use the example, you're traveling from Hamilton to St. George's. How are you going to get there? You need to map out the road in which you're going to take, or decide on the road which you're going to take. You don't have to document it in this case. I'm not talking about you got to actually write it down, but this is just an example. You have to know exactly how you're going to get there and decide where you are now, because you might be in Hamilton and you want to get to St. George's. You're not going to map out a way there by saying, okay, I'm going to start from, let's say, Smith's, because you're in Hamilton. So you got to consider, how am I first going to get to Devonshire, then to Smiths, then on to St. George's. So you definitely have to know where your business is today in order to define where you will be over the next 3 years.